Hey there, Aquarius. It's me here, Krystal Clear, happy to deliver July 2024's message for you as you go about the month. I'm going to start by pulling 2 overall energy cards, one coming into the month and one as you leave the month, so we can check the vibe and then we'll get into it. So starting the month of July, we have got walk away, leave unhealthy situations, enjoy new doors that open for you as a result. So coming into the month, I feel as if there's an awareness that you're coming into either as you begin the month, or it very well might start in July, and by the end of the month you have that awareness. Let's start by pulling a card for the end of July just to see what the vibe looks like before we get into it. But there's opportunity that feels most important that comes in the month of July, that July is going to open up that door of opportunity for you to walk away. And let's see what that looks like as you walk away. So we've got connect with nature, and it says you're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. So yeah, for July, as you spend time doing the things that feel natural to you, that feel organic to you, where you feel like you're with one with nature, it just feels right. You put yourself in this vibration that anything that doesn't feel natural, that doesn't come natural, or that, pushes your limits, where you're like, I'm not really doing this for me anymore. Sometimes as an Aquarius, you may do things for others because you have this help humanity mentality, but then that also kind of gets frustrating because as well as any other person, Aquarius, that when you do things out of obligation or for others, you lose your happiness within it. And so instead of getting into that cycle, or instead of continuing that cycle, I feel as if you're breaking that cycle and you start to walk away from anything that doesn't allow for you to connect with your natural self, the nature around you, the world around you in a healthy way, as this says leave unhealthy situations. So there's definitely going to be some discernment that you find that you come into in this month of July, like where that is for you. And so we have, as we leave the month, connect with nature. So these could be relationships, like what's your natural self, Aquarius, when you're in an intimate setting with people you're close with? What is natural for you when it's just you sitting in nature by yourself in solitude? What is natural to you, Aquarius, as you are working, providing for others, being of service? What is it, Aquarius, that is natural for you when it comes to your own wellness and soul care and well-being? That is your nature. Sitting and taking time to reflect on what that looks like is really what I see is July for you. And there are going to be opportunities that are like, wow, that's pretty freaking perfect for me. Like that seems pretty perfect for me in this opportunity. So I do feel that there's going to be beautiful opportunities that come in July. However, the caveat to that is you've got to have a good sense of what that looks like for you. Like to take a look at those different areas that Spirit just encouraged. Take a look at those different areas of yourself, Aquarius, and see where it is that you need to walk away and what parts of you do you need to connect with. And then Spirit's going to open those doors for you here in July. Maybe August for some of you if you take a delay on this work. But I do feel like July is going to be a very transformational month. So let's pull 4 cards and see what we've got. So we've got a 5 of Swords, 2 of Swords. These are definitely decision-making cards. There's that shift that comes, the wheel, perhaps that 3rd week of July, and the Hierophant as that last week of July. And we gently use these as time measurements, but we pull 4 to get the overall vibe of the month. So I do feel like the first half of the month is more about that awareness coming in and being like, okay, this is who I am in my natural place. This is not who I am in my natural place. This is what I want for my future. This is not what I want for my future. And this is in the areas of relationship, friends and family, maybe work, and like your home environment, your physical home as well as your internal spiritual home. And these first 2 weeks is really going to be eye-opening for you these first 2 weeks of July, where you've been maybe telling yourself stories that don't actually, in the best, most gentlest, positive, uplifting way, they just aren't the truth of a situation. And it's almost like night and day that this shift happens, like a night and day shift happens in July, where you realize, wow, maybe I haven't been seeing things as clearly as I thought, or maybe the things that I've been thinking about has been causing my perception of something to be skewed. And that awareness comes in, and it makes all the difference that second half of the month. So starting with the Five of Swords, it's like there's information that just doesn't sit right with me. There's information that comes in that I just don't understand. I feel like this is where Aquarius is at the beginning of the month. Like, how can this and that be true and present? Which I totally get. I love to work on the word and how important it is. But starting the month off, it's really confusing. It's really confusing. How can I believe this and that to be true if I believe this? Or if I believe this, how can that be true? So that first week might be a little confusing to navigate. And that's where you're realizing there's some unhealthy situations that need to be dealt with. Just like the card Walk Away says. That second week with the Two of Swords, I do feel like some decisions are reached, or there's an awareness that is reached. And it's like, okay, I'm going to take my blindfold off. I'm going to call it what it is. I'm going to say what it is. I'm going to see it for what it is. And I'm going to walk away from any of those unhealthy situations. And I'm going to walk towards my peace. I'm going to walk towards connection with nature. A lot to do with the awareness of the situation around you. Whatever this situation is regarding, like the specifics of it, what comes in this month in July for Aquarius is the awareness of it for that decision making. And I do feel like the awareness that comes in for the decision making, it allows for there to be a positive shift, one that you are going to feel confident with. You're going to feel connected to your truth, to your true natural self. You're going to have that connection because you were able to spend time with the right people in the right places at the right timing for this decision, that there had been some things you were not privy to seeing from the position that you were in. It caused a different type of perspective, and that comes in and shifts here in July with the wheel. And it's a positive shift, and especially when we have the Hierophant after it, and that's why we're definitely talking about awareness and belief systems. From this new position, you gain this new perspective, which does shift how you process information and the things that you believe and how you even make decisions. Like your decision-making process gets a shift, gets an overall, I would say just like a new attitude or a new perspective. With the Hierophant, it's all the things that we believe. It's our perspective. And with the Wheel of Fortune right before it, there's a shift in perspective. And it's an uplifted perspective. It's an uplifted, positive shift. And it does help with this decision making that you have in front of you to walk away where it is no longer serving you and to connect with what feels right. So I'm going to pull 3 cards here for Spirit's advice. All right, Aquarius, as you navigate this month of July, first we have surrender the resistance. And man, that can be challenging. If you've ever heard or are familiar with the term cognitive dissonance or cognitive bias, sometimes it can be really challenging to receive conflicting information, which is why why we stay in patterns and cycles that don't serve us for so long, is because we get comfortable with the story in our head. But surrender the resistance and cognitive dissonance with these 2 cards right off the bat, like, feels very strong that there is some shifts in beliefs that good for you, that you push cognitive dissonance and cognitive biasm aside, and you are able to hear a new side of the story or see a different perspective. And good job for surrendering that resistance. Hopefully you can accomplish that, Aquarius, and you can stay connected. And that's Spirit's advice, is to surrender that resistance and allow yourself to see this new perspective. Let's see what else we have. Okay, we've got honor the ending. And really, if you look at these 2 cards together, It is nearly the same hand gesture. Honor the ending, and obviously it is something that is important to you, with the hands being in front of the heart. And not all endings have to necessarily be bad. Sometimes it is, we can walk away with gratitude, being grateful for a situation, versus carrying the hurt and the grief. Because if we carry the hurt and the grief, we may need some more closure. And I feel like there's just some closure that comes in this time from the walking away and the honoring of the ending. There's a different layer of closure that Spirit is encouraging, or that there's insight that is happening. But there's definitely an ending that happens in July, or a clarity that there is an end, insight that there's going to be a new chapter beginning. And it's one to embrace enthusiasm. It's a positive potential. It's one that you can feel uplifted, that you can trust and believe in. I can see the three. This very much looks like the Three of Cups type of energy to me, which is celebratory and community based, and there's multiple people here. So like there's a beautiful embrace coming. It's almost like that there are people, experiences, an opportunity that does await, that's a healthier situation than you thought, and they've got these open arms ready to welcome you in or welcome you back, but just to welcome you and to give you that opportunity. So that is what I have for you, Aquarius, as you navigate the month of July 2024. I hope this was helpful, and I'm wishing you all the best blessings and love always. Take care.